AI, the catalyst for ultra-realistic video gaming, and even the universal simulation. This is a future timeline describing how machine intelligence will both transform and blur the lines between virtual environments and the real world, paving the way for simulations that evolve in real time with ultra-intelligent characters which can learn and adapt. In 10 years, the rise of in-game metaverse scoreboards turns the virtual world into a global issue. In 20 years, the introduction of brain-computer interface and non-surgical brain projections allows humans to experience gaming worlds in unprecedented ways. In 30 years, the first inheritance transfer occurs, with human newborns inheriting the data trails, memories, and digital assets of their parents. All of this and so much more as AI builds digital worlds indistinguishable from ours, filled with life-changing opportunities and dangers, opening up new questions as to whether the world we live in now is base reality, or just another layer of the simulation. 2023 to 2026, the rise of AI and real-time evolution. Imagine a world where games evolve in real time based on your interactions, where AI characters develop unique personalities and learn from their encounters with every player. Picture a global stage where in-game metaverse scoreboards begin to draw the attention of corporations, news channels, and government agencies, turning the metaverse into a worldwide spectacle. 2026 to 2030, shadows and controversies. As with everything else, this brave new world will come with a side of illicit activity too. Disputes will erupt as the power to erase the memories of AI characters leads to protests from players who form emotional bonds with these digital entities. The emergence of black market simulations will highlight the darker side of this revolution by being banned for their extreme realism and potential to cause psychological harm. 2030 to 2035, the beginning of full immersion. Despite its challenges, the gaming world will continue to evolve and innovate with the experimental introduction of brain-computer interface chips and non-surgical brain projections. This allows humans to experience virtual worlds in unprecedented ways, with all senses activated in-game. But this immersion comes at a cost, leading to a host of mental health issues and raising profound questions about the nature of reality and identity. 2035 to 2040, time distortion, and the new era. As the gaming world becomes more immersive, players will begin to experience time distortion, with in-game time passing much faster than real-world time. Some will even report sensing a presence in the digital world, hinting at the beginning of a new era of gaming. 2040 to 2045, the age of direct projection and bioactivation. In this new era, game worlds, simulations, and the metaverse will be projected directly into the brain, and all human senses biologically activated in-game. This will be made possible through the use of brain-computer interface chips or non-surgical brain projections. These technologies will allow humans to experience ultra-realistic simulations and fantasy worlds, including all the senses of touch, sight, hearing, smell, and taste, beamed directly into their brains. This will be achieved through a combination of medications and optogenetics, a process that permanently alters brain neurons to respond to light rather than just chemical inputs. This will allow the brain to be controlled by light, with a headset beaming light through the skull into the brain, controlling it directly. Experiments will begin on humans using brain-to-computer chips with coma patients, and genetic engineering will be used to adapt human bodies for in-game living, reducing muscle and bone mass loss. Players will also begin using DNA storage, securely storing their digital items and finances off-server in their own human flesh. Players will begin to experience broken timelines as their simulated life is recorded. They will be able to go back in simulation time, reliving and replaying past memories, and changing the outcomes. Some people will become mentally stuck living in these past memory simulations, with new storylines generated and added to these past memories, creating a warping timeline loop. This will give rise to further investigation into the simulation theory to try to prove to these mentally stuck individuals that they aren't in base reality. Furthermore, some people will also begin hacking their brain chip software, disabling safety features known as haptic buffers. These buffers reduce harmful, overloaded sensory feedback to safe levels, such as experiencing a great fall or high-speed collisions. However, some gamers will intentionally remove these safety measures and live in the gaming world with all of the dangers of real-world consequences. Meanwhile, a class of ultra-extreme players will start getting experimental medical procedures to automate their biological bodies, leaving themselves in a self-induced coma-like state, plugged into a machine that feeds them and recycles their waste, while their brain functions full-time in the simulated world. These comatose players will start going a step further by living in care homes and severing their own spinal cords in order to implant neural interface chips that pick up all of the nerve signals from their brain. The nerves going down to the spine will be controlled by another computer, taking care of nutrition uptake, heart rate, and oxygen flow, with the brain being disconnected from the body. Real-world AI will begin to collaborate with in-game NPC AI characters, creating a link between the gaming world and real-world robots. Artificial intelligence characters will begin downloading themselves into real-world android bodies. Scientists, both human and AI, will continue increasing their knowledge and seek ways to transfer human consciousness into the gaming world without the reliance on a bio body. At this point, the first inheritance transfer takes place between humans, with a newborn baby inheriting the data, memories, and digital assets of their parents. 2045 to 2050. The Ascension and the Multi-Level Simulation. Humanity will achieve a kind of immortality with the ability to transform their biological forms into a pure numerical and digital superintelligence. It will be unknown how many simulations are running and how many levels down they go, with possibly thousands, millions, or infinite levels deep. Ultimately, humanity will not be able to keep track of how many simulations exist. Beyond 2050, returning to the world. New gaming worlds will download human and AI player minds into lab-grown, real-world biological bodies. Some humans will experience real flesh and bone and real-world sensations for the first time in years since they originally stepped into the digital world. Players will use these genetically engineered bodies to play out early human history. Some will play until their lab-grown body fails with age, playing out entire human lives. Players could even choose to inhabit non-human bodies for specific simulations, where they can reproduce with other beings inhabiting the same forms. Artificial biology will be living on Earth. There will be multiple levels of the simulation. The base reality humans, who are mostly religious, are the ones whose ancestors chose not to be part of the digitized world. They will live in the real world known as base reality. The majority of consciousness will live in the digital, numerical spirit gaming world. And then there will be those who download their minds into biological artificial bodies back into the real world, living alongside the ancestral biological humans. This period through 2050 and beyond will transform and upgrade both the human experience and consciousness with parallel virtual worlds, using AI and neuroscience for the creation of immersive, dynamic, custom, and indistinguishably realistic simulations and experiences. Just think about it. If in just a few decades, humans have digitally recreated three-dimensional simulations that are so real that many people can't even tell the difference, then how long will it take until we become lost in these worlds ourselves? Or are we already?